Well, threatening revenge, talking about bitter feelings in court today. Emails leading up to the fatal encounter between Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander with focus of testimony. And as Mike Watkins tells us, that's not all. Today, finally, Day 7, Arias also talked about the day she killed her former lover, though I guess she hasn't gotten to the act itself yet.
Yeah, Patty, it's taken Jodi Arias 2 weeks on the witness stand to finally get her narrative to the point where she's talking about that hot summer afternoon in 2008 when she acknowledges that she killed her lover, Travis Alexander. And in this exchange with her lawyer, Kurt Nurmi, Arias talks about her arrival at Travis Alexander's home.
When you arrived at Mr. Alexander's home, did you have a gun with you?
No.
Did you have a knife with you?
No.
Well, what did he do?
He had a big smile on his face and he kissed me on the lips.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot more on what she describes the events of that day are coming up at 6. But this morning, Jodi Arias once again talking about the many text messages sent to her by Travis Alexander.
Whenever he got mad, it was like being in an earthquake. Like, it starts and you don't know how long it's going to last or how bad it's going to get until it's all done. So.
For a third week in a row, Jodi Arias on the witness stand in her own defense, talking about and reading a series of text messages sent to her by lover Travis Alexander after Arias says she had moved out of Mesa, Arizona and back to California, in part to get away from Travis Alexander.
Bitter feelings are brewing in me towards you. I'm sick of having days ruined by you. If it keeps up, I fear I will have a genuine dislike for you. I'm asking you before it gets to that to stop doing it, before I start seeking revenge.
Arias' defense attorneys continuing to use Travis Alexander's own words from text messages and phone calls to paint Alexander as a sexually, emotionally, and physically abusive and jealous boyfriend. This from another one of Travis Alexander's texts.
Just like I have to give you motivation to tell me the truth, I'll give you motivation to quit screwing with me.
And under questioning from her lawyer, Kurt Nurmi, Jodi Arias telling jurors after Alexander's alleged angry and threatening outbursts, it was always she who was apologizing. And then when Alexander had blown off steam, he would send messages like this.
He says, I'm sorry too, I love you.
That reel you back in?
Made me feel better.
Again, as Jodi Arias begins her third week of direct testimony this afternoon, she finally got to the day when she acknowledges that she killed Travis Alexander. We're going to have much more on this afternoon's testimony coming up at 6 at Superior Court. I'm Mike Watkins for 3 TV.
Now let's turn to the Jodi Arias murder trial. She admits to killing her lover, but claims self-defense in this case. And on the stand this afternoon, she testified about the day of that killing. Mike Watkins, live at Superior Court now. And Mike, what did we learn today?
Well, Jodi Arias beginning her third week on the witness stand, direct testimony, and finally getting to the point in her narrative where she was talking about traveling from her home in Northern California to Travis Alexander's home in Mesa, Arizona in the summer of 2008. It was a visit that ended with Mr. Alexander shot in the head, repeatedly stabbed, and his throat slit.
He wanted to tie me up. Again, he had done that once before and it didn't work out. So it didn't work out because the rope he had was actually like a twine. It was very scratchy and it hurt my wrist. So he had a different rope this time.
It took Jodi Arias 2 weeks on the witness stand talking about her life to finally get to the day in 2008 when she went to visit her lover Travis Alexander at his Mesa home and now admits she killed him in what she claims was self-defense.
When you arrived at Mr. Alexander's home, did you have a gun with you?
No.
Did you have a knife with you?
No.
Well, what did he do?
He had a big smile on his face and he kissed me on the lips.
Arias telling jurors it was a day of sex and picture-taking, with Travis Alexander taking intimate shots of Arias with his brand new camera.
He wasn't clothed when he tied you up.
I think he might have had his garments on, but his clothes came off.
And by garments, what do you mean garments?
The temple garments that are worn top and bottom. They're worn by some members of the church.
Arias also telling jurors that Travis Alexander got mad over a scratch CD of photographs and then got physical.
He grabbed both of my arms, spun me around, and then grabbed my right arm and twisted it behind my back.
Yet during her testimony today, Jodi Arias also addressing several issues that the prosecution points to as evidence of premeditation, saying that she did not steal a gun from her grandparents' home before that trip. She also said she went and rented a car at an agency 90 miles from her home because she got a deal on the internet, and said that she got gas cans from a friend in Southern California, not to avoid detection in Arizona, but to save money on gas. You know that prosecutor Juan Martinez will take her to task on those issues when he gets a shot at cross-examination. And bear in mind, during her testimony today, Jodi Arias did not get to the moment when the actual killing occurred. We expect that first thing tomorrow. Of course, we'll be here to cover. At Superior Court, I'm Mike Watkins for 3 TV.